First, what I want to cover is this classic battle that happened in January, New York City, with the KSCS water drama. So it's chillin', point of contention, does the backflip, and then almost takes Uncle Will out, and then chaos ensues. Doesn't really apologize for hitting him as well. And then yada yada yada, nebs. And then Uncle Will is cheesed. And of course, Uncle Will on the offense, angry that KSCS hit him and didn't say anything. Brawl stomp. KSCS speaks first up with this long-ass Instagram story, which I really can't be bothered reading, but to paraphrase, it goes along the lines of respecting NYC and saying that even though people live in New York, they can get a bit encapsulated in their own drama, and they forget that the rest of the world is pretty good at breaking and maybe demands a bit more respect from New York. Then Flegg chimes in, says something along the lines of, whenever I hear someone talk about breaking in a purely career professional way, I tune out. Flegg obviously being the #1 DJ for Red Bull. Peace, love, unity, and sometimes denying a cypher battle while ruining a cypher floor and still losing in the finals. So yeah, KSCS basically threw some water on the ground when Uncle Will called him out, and obviously that kept them from battling. Drama, #New York, #balls. And lastly, Will responds, KSCS trash, go cry and spill more water on the floor. This is a great response. This is very succinct, and this is very easy to decipher. I love not having to read through paragraphs and paragraphs of blabber and broken English, and I think this is a solid 8 out of 10 response to the call-out dodge. Very good. And then KSCS responds again, saying that he took this kid from the Bronx, Kid Break, who has been around for a minute and was winning jams in New York before KSCS arrived, and then claiming that he took him all the way to the finals, but still lost. So, womp womp. Anyways, probably could have just accepted the call-out and called it a day, and probably wouldn't have to have this drama. But people want to blow things out of proportion, and people think that they're a lot more important than they really are. So up next after this one was Full Force 30-year anniversary. More importantly, Squadron finally gets a new member. And there we have it. Roxrite, Strike, and Luigi taking out the dubs at the anniversary. And I think this might actually be the first Asian person in Squadron, so clap it up.
We got Squadron in the house.
Kid is good. You can tell that he's had some great mentors. I think his dad was actually Totem Flipside Kings as well. So, super good lineage. Just studied the craft. Really good, man. It's nice. It's nice to see these the old school USA legacy crews finally giving some light to new talent. I think that's really nice, and I think it's kind of important that these crews pass down their legacy more accurately and more authentically as well, because Flipside Kings and Squadron definitely have a lot of influence in the world, but I don't think Flipside Kings or Squadron have actual disciples or a next generation. So this is nice. Hopefully he can keep killing it and he can keep growing into a good b-boy and continue the legacy. And those who don't know, Strike was nasty since time and kept it pretty underground, but kid's been good for a minute. Yep. That fell off though. Next thing is, in addition to the KML drama and the KML apology, we also had another member of the scene outed as a sexual predator in the form of, who do we have? None other than Olympic silver medalist Dany Dann, La France. I had already warned you at the funeral of Tonio that if the situation of abuse repeats, I would speak up, and today that day has come. Alright, some breakdancers cannot keep their hands to themselves. Jeez. If we normalize abuse within our community in any form, including sexual assault, then we let the system win. I think the system encourages or enables sexual assault. So, endless cycle. So, KML, Dany Dann, out for the count. We will probably see them in 2 years, reformed and on the path of Jesus Christ. All right, a couple more battles. What happened next? We went over to Korea. Southeast Asia sort of had its stint this year as well with Radical Force and the jam that happened before Radical Force. And then a couple of people went over to Rock and Sensation in Korea. And then a couple of people went to Vortex Jam in Japan. I'm going to examine instead the Korea street dance battle convention. I don't know what this event is called, but it happened maybe like a month or two ago. All right, KSCS. I don't know what it stands for. Okay, so grand final of this event, Yuki versus Jetlag. I think Jetlag has been on a tear for the past 4 or 5 months. And I think if he continues, he will probably end up with a wild card for BC1, or he's got a pretty good chance of taking it out for Red Bull Italy. Let's see what the hell happened. Yep, classic Beyblade style. They've given the judges nice blankets as well, which is really nice of them. Don't know how cold it would be in Korea at that time. And this jam happened 10 days ago, or 2 weeks ago instead of a month ago. This is just like your classical, like, Foundation, Body Carnival, Pocket Rocket style. Nice and fast. Speed, power, agility. I think Jetlag has something to say as well. Nice. He's got good form, and he's a bit taller than Yuki, which means that he can utilize his legs a bit nicer. Nice variation. Wow. Power looks super good. Really good form. Hits everything really nice as well. You can definitely see how you would take this battle for sure. Really good round. Very easy for Yuki's rounds to be seen as the same. He has a lot of themes and he has the same pace for a lot of his rounds, I feel like. It's very fast, usually a power variation with a blow up. Nice, a little bit predictable, but let's see what Jetlag has to say. I think it's very easy to see that Jetlag's moves are more distinct, and it's very easy to discern his different techs and his movement approaches. I like that Jetlag is bringing a bit more variety. Obviously Yuki's like blowing him out of the water in terms of blow-ups and tricks, but me personally, I prefer a bit more variety and a bit more I prefer a bit more variety. Short round, but pretty strong start. I think if Jetlag finishes this round strong, he could be having a good chance to win, but we'll see. Wow. This is a great response. Very footwork heavy round to start. Short, not that many blow-ups. Yuki will probably win. Yeah. Jetlag on fire. I think he's one to watch this year. We'll probably do really well on the competition circuit coming up. Next up, we have our little Red Bull block. We had 3 ciphers happen within the last month. We had Holland, Germany, and India. Let's go in chronological order. I think Holland happened first, with Lorenzo taking out the battle to win. Lorenzo has been doing pretty well in adult battles, finally. Stopped entering kids battles and now takes the throne. He's been doing pretty consistently at battles all the time. So it's good to see his consistency and his dedication pay off. Anyways, forget Lorenzo. We got Dez and Sky Chief. I think this is probably one of the highlight battles. I saw clips of this going around, and you could probably argue that maybe this might have been one of the battles of the night. But the Holland scene, really strong. Everyone is really good, and any one of these guys could have taken it. So, really good. It's really strong in the air. Really good. Certified Shane moment. That was a good start. Sky Chief might be able to blow him out of the water with musicality. Yeah, that was a blowout round for sure. Event looked really good. It's always the European Red Bull ciphers that always look good, as opposed to like all the crappy ciphers that go on in the US or anywhere else. Good pace, good power. Represent. I think Sky Chief just is better at performing for a crowd and this sort of stage. I feel like Sky Chief was the MVP of this Red Bull cypher for sure. Yeah, he'll take that easy.
1, 2, 3.
And Sky Chief. Okie dokes. So Holland, looking strong as always. Probably got a really good chance for Lorenzo to make it really far in the last chance cypher. Not sure if he has what it takes to make it to the final Red Bull cypher, but we'll see if I'm proven wrong. Now, over in Germany. So, over in Deutschland, we have more of a side quest grand final. We have Joe and Sebastian. 2 very normal breaking names for 2 very normal breaking dudes. have no idea how you could dress more generic and more normcore somehow. See what happens. I saw a couple clips of Joe before. I do like that a footwork-based style was able to make it all the way to the finals of the Red Bull Cypher. I think that's very, very rare to see. But honestly, I don't know if he'll have what it takes to win. But we'll see if I'm proven wrong. I do like that his footwork is very sharp and very fast, even though he doesn't take up a lot of space. I think there's still a lot of presence in his steps. Pretty decent form. Hopefully Sebastian has saved some moves for the final, because I think by the time a lot of finals in Red Bull happen, people have usually run out of all of their moves. Joe was cleaner, but Sebastian did some harder stuff, so relatively even so far. Joe is freestyling, it appears like, so maybe the judges might have it out for him. Pretty good response. I mean, I do feel like Sebastian's footwork or Sebastian's breaking is a lot easier to understand, and it's not too complicated, which I feel like is a lot better for a crowd like this. I feel like Red Bull crowds and Red Bull judges don't really like complexity that much, to be honest. Nice. I feel like Germany would be pissed off if they sent Joe to represent them at Red Bull Final, but we'll see. I do feel like Sebastian is a bit more generic, which, like I said before, is better for the Red Bull crowd. But Joe is really unique, has his own unique movement and footwork approach and form. So I'm actually kind of hoping that Joe wins, but I reckon Sebastian will take it. Oh, well, I was wrong. Germany is sending a literal Joe to the Tokyo stage. Interesting. I think Joe could blow it up. I'm hoping that he trains hard and keeps up the footwork. Light versus M17. I think these are two pretty high-level b-boys in the German scene, so it was a bit of a shame that they had to go against each other in top 8. But let's see what happened here as well. I do quite like German breaking in the German scene. I find that a lot of the German breakers are quite disciplined and they train really well. I feel like they have a good training culture in Germany, and I think they do a good job of like sticking to the fundamentals of breaking and respecting breaking's foundation, which I feel like is not very common in Europe. This is like the heavy hitters battle. Yeah, really good. His form is really strong. Super good.
Okay, the battle is on. M17.
Nice. Nice, a little bit of a slip up, but that's alright. They're both doing really hard stuff, so. A bit of a slip up here and there is okay. I think M17 is a bit more abstract and creative with it. That is Bite of all time, but whatever. His round was a bit long, so I think Light probably took that first one. The fact that Light hasn't fallen off the stage, very impressive. Jeez. Really good. A little bit choppy, but I think he's feeling himself, which is nice. Quite like this round actually. Taking his time, not really changing his performance for everyone. God, his rounds are really long though. I would give that second round to M17 for sure, but I think Light overall performed better in the battle. And the winner of this battle oh, M17 takes the cake. That is a surprise. Well, rip. Cool. So I think Red Bull Belgium happened yesterday or maybe the weekend prior, but I really can't be bothered reviewing every single Red Bull cypher that happens. So let's just end off with this final that happened in India. Flying Machine, Camille. I feel like Flying Machine has like a generic high-level b-boy breaking style. Kind of dynamic, but doesn't necessarily do power moves. A bit more abstract. Bing. Strong round, nice and high, but didn't really do any footwork. Gotta do footwork every now and again, guys. Can't be fairy flying all the time. I like this guy's more classical approach to breaking right now. He's doing footwork, so that's already a dub. And he's got some power moves. A bit slow. I mean, his moves aren't as high level or dynamic as Flying Machine's, but I do like his style a bit more. Really good songs from the DJ, I guess. I just feel like Flying Machine is kind of like a budget Lil Zoo, to be honest. Like, he's got some good ideas that could be stitched together a bit better with some footwork, but let's see what Camille has to say. Definitely like the depth of Camille's breaking a lot more right now. He's not really blowing it up though, which I feel like everyone wants to see on a Red Bull stage. Honestly, it looks like Flying Machine is already acting like he's won the battle. Because it looks like he just wins the battle every year in India, I guess. I don't know about that. This is Beanie stayed on. Yeah, good depth. Sloppy. And obviously Flying Machine wins. Good technique and good sort of break-in essence, but I guess he probably lacked the character and the championship mentality that people want to see at a Red Bull event. But I still like his breaking a bit more. Right, so Red Bull Cyphers, Water in New York, Full Force 30, Dany Dann gets sent to the Shadow Realm. Lastly, I want to talk about this clip that Roxrite posted the other day regarding his thoughts on the state of breaking, because Roxrite has been around for a minute, and I think he's put in the work and seen the evolution or the sort of shifts in the scene over the years. So let's see what Unk has to say. I actually downloaded this clip, so...
I think today's generation is filled with so much talent, so many people that can do gravity-defying things, but they sometimes just lack the simplicity of keeping it simple with the dynamics that they have.
The simplicity of simplicity.
Easy moves that you can just simplify some things to finalize your round. Instead, they're desperately trying to get the same response every single round.
I agree.
It's almost as if guys are trying to drop a one-hit wonder for every song on their album. And to do that it's quite impossible. You need to mature your game. You need to mature.
I feel like sort of the meta though is to really like blast off and deliver 150% in each round, because I feel like that's sort of the standards that we've sought to strive for in the scene. I think everyone could wake up tomorrow and go, hey, my shit is like too much, let me just dial it back a little bit. But then I feel like when people dial back their break-in, they feel like they will lose, which I feel like is probably the most important thing of breaking these days, is the competition.
Your dance and just be well-rounded and be able to milk and finesse your style. And I think that's where a lot of the younger generation overexploits themselves and plays themselves out, is because they don't try to finesse their style or even mature their style or develop other concepts. They stay to that one thing and then they just run with it nonstop to the ground till it gets played out and the other rest of the scene catches up and they match the same level. You have to go back to the basics.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. I feel like that's sort of what we were told as kids, to really focus on what you like and triple down. I feel like that's sort of like a Gen Z mentality, to really hone in and get good at one specific thing, which I feel like Roxrite does not like. Everyone really likes a well-rounded b-boy, but at the same time, no one really remembers a well-rounded b-boy in the end.
What this is, and that's just dancing, understanding the music, the culture. I think
yeah, I feel like if people just started listening to hip hop again, our scene would be okay, as opposed to like Red Bull mixes, which suck ass. Let's see what everyone else has to say about this as well. Other members of Squadron/Flake have chimed in. The more people continue to look for everything in breaking to come from competitions, the more they'll be let down. The meaning in breaking comes from feeling yourself in the music or feeling the community in the cypher. So I think people want to see artfulness or the art of breaking come back again. And I guess people are sick of competitions, but I feel like people have been saying this sort of thing for the past like 10, 15 years, even back in Silverback days. So I don't know. I get a bit tired of this rhetoric from time to time. And I feel like there are some community members who have sort of taken this feedback to heart and have done a good job of refining the style, but they're just not competing, or they're just not battling or winning, which I feel like everyone seems to care about. the further we stray from that, the more it becomes just a show, which every battle or every jam is a show or performance now. I think that's sort of something that is new in the breaking scene. I guess back then battles were battles, but I feel like everyone sees a battle now as a performance. I don't think the rawness has all gone away. It's just that we don't focus on it or highlight it as something of value online. I think this is true. There's still hope for breaking, but we need to curate more non-competition events, big or small. Bring it back. I think Squadron does a really good job of their event. Style's no joking. I don't know if they do it anymore, but when Squadron did their event, it was really good. And it actually looked like one event that I wanted to go to for a while, but I don't know if it'll happen again. Nasty Raymond chimes in as well. Breaking has definitely evolved physically, more dynamic moves and better musicality for some, but socially it's exploded. I think breaking has more like influence and breaking culture has more eyes on it. I don't know if this necessarily means anything for the community at heart though. The internet made it more personal and meaningful for many, while social media both connected and disconnected the community at the same time. I think this is kind of true. I think a lot of people ended up forging alliances with people across the borders and across different countries because of the internet. And now you can learn from anywhere, but the real in-person connection isn't the same. I think it goes kind of both ways. I think it's sort of up to like younger generations to be willing to listen to the elders in the community, but also the elders in the community to take some responsibility and share what they know. I think here in Australia, like there's a pretty good relationship with the young generation and the generations before. So things are in good hands. I feel like this is probably a bit different though in other scenes where the internet and social media probably has bigger influence on breaking. Because here in Australia, like no one posts, no one really uses Instagram like that for breaking. Breaking is bigger than ever, but it still has a ways to go. I don't know if we can agree with that. I mean, it depends on what metric you want to measure it by. I think breaking has more attention and has more views, but I don't know if the numbers are quite the same for jam attendance or even if the amount of competitors are the same for battles. I feel like if anything, the amount of people at practice sessions has probably dropped off, but we'll see. Different strokes for different folks. This rhetoric has been the same in our scene for the past couple of years. So, I mean, they're not really saying anything new, but I feel like when people with influence or trophies say these things, it's taken a bit more seriously. As long as we keep chasing the carrot on the stick, I think our desire to compete and our desire for glory, and I think just human desire for victory in general, I think kind of trumps everything. And what I've really seen is that, what I've seen is that people will really compromise and people will really do anything to win, because I feel like winning and the sort of status with victory sort of trumps everything these days. So as long as people will try to win, our scene will stay the same and the same problems will continue to arise. I'm also curious to see if Red Bull is going to piss off, because I think that might have a huge impact on the state of the scene. I feel like a lot of b-boys would probably quit altogether if competitions and battles stopped happening. And maybe we can get our underground renaissance like we always wanted. Anyways, that was the quarter one breaking recap. The year's been pretty good so far for breaking. Like we've got some heavy hitters, we've got some good breaking in the Red Bull ciphers, and we got some good battles as well going on in Asia. I think Jetlag is definitely one to watch, and I'm curious to see the final lineup for Red Bull ciphers or the Red Bull World Final Last Chance Cypher this year. I also hope that the community grassroots side of breaking continues to go strong, because I feel like that's very important as well. Because I feel like once Red Bull is done playing with us, we'll be alone with our own thoughts again. So look forward to that. Anyways, see you next time.